All right, obviously joined now by the 2022 NTT IndyCar Series champion in Will Power, now a two-time champion in IndyCar with a win, 9 podiums here in 2022, and of course 5 NTT P1 awards, snapping Mario Andretti's all-time pole record yesterday. That seemed like a long time ago compared to what you just did today. So congratulations, third place finish. It's Will's 9th podium of the season, 94th of your career. I know it's been a long day for you. How satisfying? Where do you start when you try to describe something like this? What happened today?
Yeah, I mean, what a great weekend all around. You know, I couldn't really enjoy the pole yesterday because I was so focused on the race, but a lot of stress, this weekend. Not really any other. I was pretty calm all year. You know, once I got in the car and we started rolling, it was fine, but a bit sketchy in the middle of the race. Like I was digging.
How nerve-wracking? How
deep? Yeah, I was just like, I got to give everything I can. I can't lose any positions here. And the car was the tires. It was interesting. It's, you know, some sets of tires are really good, some were not quite so good. So a bit of a difference there. But yep, mentally drained. Couldn't show the sort of emotion that I showed when I won the 500. But it's been like a long journey over the year, so I think it's pretty fitting that we just did another solid day, you know, just a sort of long game day like today. That's just been the story of our year.
Coming in, of course, you knew, hey, if I finish on the podium, we got the championship. The Pelot goes by you, Joseph goes by you. Yeah. You're sitting on the bubble right there.
Yes.
Is that where the nerves started to kick in?
That was the nerves were coming in because, you know, Joseph and I were on the same tires and he pulled a 12-second gap.
Yeah.
Which just blew my mind. Then the next set of tires, suddenly I was actually quicker than him. So, you know, it was a bit confusing to me because I just figured he was on reds, but he wasn't. So, car came alive in the last stint, no problem.
I think I saw a banner afterwards, 42nd championship for Team Penske. You're a part of that, obviously, and you joined the list of multiple championship winners from the team. Guys like Rick Mears, who won 3 IndyCar Series championships. Tom Sneva won a couple. Al Unser won a couple. Gilles Deferre, and of course your teammate Joseph Newgarden. That's some elite company on a very elite racing team.
It is, yeah, all very elite, and just so fortunate to drive for such a team.
Yeah,
given the chance to do this, a lot of gratitude for the team and the sponsor, Verizon. Very, very lucky.
Let's open it up for questions, and I know there's some standing by on Zoom. We'll start here with David Mosher Lopez.
We saw you making quite a few changes to your car in warm-up. Did they make the car better, or did they make it worse? And is that why the car's handling was so tricky?
The car was actually really good in the last stint, so we didn't, you know, it just went back to last year's setup with a little bit of a change. So, yeah, a bit of it. We just went from what we ran in qualifying to what we ran in the race last year, which seemed pretty strong. Yeah, it was tough, man. Like the car and those 2 black stints, like I just touched the throttle and the thing was sliding. Like it was really on top of the road, the rear. So I took some front wing out. And that second stint, you know, then you just didn't have front and you didn't have rear. But as the stint went on, it got a bit better. But then the last stint, the car came on. We turned the front wing back in. So yeah, it was interesting. I was surprised how much better the tire was in the last stint for me.
Right. And were the team constantly warning you what the gap was back to Grosjean or back to Rosenqvist?
I was watching on my dash. I got it on the dash, so I can tell how fast someone is. And once that sort of stabilized with Grosjean, I thought, okay, we're looking not bad here. And the fact that they said that Pelot's, you know, 20 seconds up the road, I was like, well, if something doesn't happen to him, we're looking good, but you still have to try and maintain that position. If it goes yellow and there's a restart or any of that thing, you just mix it all up. So, yeah, it's you know, I have to say I dug deep all year, fought hard all year, and that was the case today again.
Let's go Ben Johnson, then Bruce.
Hey, Will, congratulations. Where is it that you kind of pinpoint during the season that you thought this is going to happen, or was it just today's race? Was it like just the consistency between Team Penske and Chevy as well throughout the year?
Yeah, it was, it definitely take a big jump on drivability with the engine. That really, really helped this year. Put our cars in a different window. As far as knowing when I had the championship, about 1 to go. That's about how I felt. Like I've been in positions where I've had races won and then something's happened. So, never, started to look good with 10 to go. But it was we turned up the last 3 races on our game in every respect. Getting the pole at Gateway, leading the most laps, but then obviously a wrong strategy call there. Otherwise, I feel like we would have won that race. And then Portland on the front row, and then finishing on the podium, and then here again. So definitely turned up in those last 3 ready to go, like not leaving anything on the table, not having to claw from the back or anything. That was my mindset going into it. Thank you.
Let's go right on the line here, Bruce. Nathan.
Will, congratulations. Notice that this championship, you didn't put the top of the trophy on your head like you did in 2014. So are you learning how to celebrate championships a little differently now than that first one?
I'm much older. It's not something. That was Cindric's fault. He told me to do that.
Yeah.
Do something. But,
But I know that championship was the release of a lot of torment that you felt inside because you'd never won a championship before. You'd come close. We never really know who would have won the 2011 championship because of the way the season ended. 2012, you weren't, you lost it. 2013, you were out of it. Then 2014, you were able to seal it. So were there any moments today where there was any reflections of, I can't let one wheel get turned the wrong way today?
That's kind of been all year. Just, you've done it for long enough, just iron out all those little stupid mistakes that, potentially that, you have made over your career. Everyone does. And that's what I did. I have done all year. I mean, it's been a really, really focused, solid year all around, and great crew. Finished every lap of every race. I mean, we look back at a couple of these years and some of the mechanical failures, some of the things that have gone wrong. It just shows when you've got the whole combination together. We're gonna be there fighting for the championship.
But when Newgarden came all the way from the back to the front and then got ahead of you, was there any moment where you wonder, how did he do that?
No, I knew he was going to be there. I knew it. It's pretty crazy that I actually put him a lap down, right? Was that right? Like he hadn't pit? No, that's wrong. I pitted and came out in front of him.
Right.
So I actually got a whole pit stop on him, but then that yellow obviously would have closed him up significantly. And that would have helped him. But after that, I was like, ooh, got to dig deep here. Just keep digging. And that's what I did.
And finally, you didn't have Bo when you won in 14, and he got to celebrate with you today. So how special was that?
It's just special every time I see the little guy. Doesn't matter if it's a championship or just getting up in the morning. God, it's the best.
Let's go back and forth. Marshall, then Nate, then Chris, then Nathan. All right, go ahead, Marshall.
Mr. Power,
There you go.
how do you and Faustino keep things as fresh as you have for all these years? That's not a common thing.
I'm going to say that, we just know each other well. And we actually worked better this year together than ever. Really, we really did. And I think he's seen me mature. I mean, think about it. He's been with me since '07, sorry. So I think he's probably seen a slow progression of maturity, and this year he's seen the absolute, top level of that. Because he's obviously heard me on the radio for years. He's heard me, he's been in that engineering office for years, and and I think we both have together matured. We got a lot of respect for each other, and it's just you cannot beat experience. You cannot beat experience. That's all I'll say is, just every scenario that can happen to you to make a race go wrong has happened to me and him, and it happens to everyone. And just at this stage of your career, you just know the game so well, and and you just play on that experience.
Can you also share some thoughts about your crew chief, Trevor? He just a big bear of a guy, smile from ear to ear. Today was a big achievement for him in his career as well.
Yeah, I've had a few different crew chiefs, but I would say that he is the most positive, light-hearted guy I've had, and very nurturing, just with the guys, and I think everyone's happy on the crew. I've had crew chiefs that are really tough on the guys. They demand everyone to really do their job properly. But Trev's just he's a great guy, a great human, and very good at his job. And he keeps everyone calm, including me. He just say, let's just do what you do, man. Nothing special. I've been saying that too on the radio when we come in for a stop. Nothing special, boys. Just do what you know. My outside rear guy was his first year, and they were the quickest on pit lane, I believe. I think they won the pit stop competition. So that's the first year guy. He's a good friend of mine, Adam Jarrett. They're all good friends of mine, but that's impressive. Yeah.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Will, I know Team Penske obviously doesn't play favorites. That's been evident in all the discussions that have been had over the last week, especially since Portland. But when you have one win and Newgarden's got 5 and McLaughlin's got 3, does it make you anxious at all? I mean, does it feel awkward at all? Like that, like, hey, you're leading the points, and you're the guy who's going to win the championship. But like, would you like to have more wins to kind of show? Like, I know there's no number one driver, but how does that feel?
9 podiums. That's pretty strong, and there's definitely gave up some wins just for consistency. Definitely could have attacked harder when I was on really good tires. I know the races. St. Pete was one on the restart. I actually just underdrove like you wouldn't believe to make sure that I finished that stint in a good position. Instead of, I could have easily attacked and passed, McLaughlin. Instead, I actually lost the position on reds, and the other one was mid-Ohio, restart on reds, and just an attack here, or I can end up, I think I'll take third. Same with the second race at Iowa. I'll take second. Make sure the tires last, make sure I finish second. So there's just definitely some wins left on the table if you were going for that. But I said it from the beginning of the year. I said, I'm playing the long game all year. I've never done that, and I'm doing it this year. I don't really care about the wins. I just want to win another championship, and I played that game. Maybe I go out next year and try to win races, but, if you want to win a championship, you got to play a long game.
You said on the NBC interview with Marty that Liz had told you were going to break Mario's record and you were going to win the championship.
She said that.
Do you remember the details, or like how that came up, or where that was?
I believe, because it's probably a time where I'm like, man, I was disappointed in something, or just saying like talking about my career or something. She goes, I believe you're gonna beat Mario's record this year and win another championship. That's what she said. Legit. She said that. She said it a couple times in the year. It actually gave me confidence. It actually, that's how much that's how much faith I have in her gut feel. It kind of made me think, okay, she said things like this before. Like the 500, she said, I believe you're going to win one. I think you're going to win one.
You don't remember like where you were? Was this
I do. It was standing in the kitchen, I was standing in the kitchen. I remember it exactly.
Just some point during the off season?
Yeah, what's that?
Was it just some point during the off season? Was it like in December or January? Okay.
Yeah, it was She had said it a couple times, but I know it was before the season, and she said it again during the season. I believe, and even before this weekend, she said, I know you're going to do it. She said that. She said, I know you're going to do it. I'm like, oh man, so much pressure. Not pressure, but like, oh, everything's got to go right. But deep down, I was like, I know how life flows at times, and I kind of thought this could happen. But yeah, she said that. It was, yeah, she has a good gut feel. She has a good gut feel for things.
Last one for me. You said it a couple of times here. You said it yesterday. You haven't really been able to fully show your emotions because you've been in such like locked in serious mode all week.
Yeah,
When do you finally get to let loose? Is it tonight? Is it next weekend? And what will that be like?
Yeah, I don't know. Just great feeling of satisfaction. Yeah, not really drink or anything. I'll have some green teas tonight and enjoy it. Nah, I got in the ocean for 30 minutes. That was cold. I think it's 50 degrees. And I stayed in for 30. My dad's like, don't get in for more than 15. Oh, no, I'm not allowed to do that. Yeah.
Still have PTSD from that, Bruce. All right, Chris, go ahead.
Will, earlier in the race, I believe you exited one of your pit stops behind Kellett, and then you had Daly like a couple seconds in front of you, and you were worried about getting help, getting by them. How worried were you that maybe something was going to happen at that point, that maybe things were going to go haywire completely?
My worry was I had a 2-second lap on Grosjean, and I wanted to make sure I jumped him in the stop. So that was my worry. Like, I pulled this 2-second gap. I didn't want to get held up. That was really my only worry. But back marks were good today. Yeah. Yep.
And looking at the whole season, what was the thing that surprised you the most about everything? Was it Scott winning is what he did, or was it something else that happened that just surprised you most of all?
I think, I actually felt like we didn't have a bad car last year. We just had seemed like bad luck as a team. And this year, everything just seemed to click. I don't know whether that surprises me or not, but, I would say the most, not even surprising this year. I mean, the competition's just insane. But what maybe is surprising is the gap that we had to the field as a team. We just seemed to execute in every way, not necessarily faster. We were faster in some respects, some races, but just getting it right, pit lane and on track.
Nathan? Thanks, Barry.
Well, I know they showed some clips on the pre-race show on the grid, and it just, at least to us, looked like you were very nervous, very focused. Can you kind of just describe what the emotions were like leading up to the start of today's race?
Yes, it was, waking up at 3 a.m. a couple of times over the weekend, and then I can always relax yourself back to sleep. But it's obviously a big day. Everyone's put a ton of effort in, and you don't want to let it go. So those nerves make you perform at a high level. I had those nerves going to qualifying, and it just pops you up to another level, and that's what it does for me. I've a couple of times in my career I've actually gone on, I've gotten the car too relaxed, and it just doesn't work. Yeah, there's that, I've been around long enough to understand the perfect amount of sort of nervousness you got to have. You got to have it. You got to have it. You won't, your subconscious won't perform to what you want it to if you don't. It's got to your subconscious needs to understand the importance of what you're doing, and then you can put yourself at another level. Yeah.
Hi, Will. I'm going to try to help Nate's angle out with just the faith that you put in Liz and her gut feelings. They talked in the pre-race today about very early in your career, Liz talked you out of taking other jobs and just stick around and wait for an opportunity in IndyCar.
That was true too.
So you believed her long before she was your wife or even your girlfriend. I mean, what is it that has made you believe in her gut feelings?
Well, things like that. I mean, legitimately told me to sign a contract for A1GP, didn't have anything else, and she told me to get out of that contract because Penske or Ganassi might call you. I was just like, there's no way. But I did it anyway. I don't know. I just did it. And then sure enough, she calls, yeah, Elio just got arrested. I'm like, what? What? And Derek's down there. He's talking to Roger. Yeah, no, it's uncanny. I mean, it's unbelievable. She actually took me out of that contract. And yeah, I did end up at Penske. Yeah, it just blew my mind. How could she know that? She didn't know. I mean, she just felt that. Penske.
What else has she felt?
Yeah.
Like, what else has she predicted?
Yeah. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, no, yep, she has good intuition. Yeah.
So you being you and you allowed yourself to get nervous this weekend. Was there any point of knowing that you just needed to sort of finish a certain place? Did you relax at any point during the race?
I did not relax at any point. I knew I had to keep digging, and yeah, I went hard the whole race. And I restart, Joseph's P5 already. I'm like, oof. But then he had to do another stop. But yeah, it was high stress the whole race, but remained extremely focused on it. Yeah, extracted the most out of it, and yep, it was very like our whole season. It was a very solid, consistent, no mistake day.
David.
Do you think you've done enough to earn another contract? You knew I was going to.
You would hope so. If not, there's plenty of teams. So.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
I know. McLaren, I signed with them, so.
Yeah, but then you'll have to deny it on Twitter like 10 minutes later.
Yeah. No, yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, you would hope so. What's that?
He's watching the NASCAR race apparently. So as the president of Team Penske, he's a very busy person. Anyone else in person? If not, we'll take a few off of Zoom. Of course, he's chiming in. David Turner, go ahead with Will Power.
Well, we've got to keep it Australasian, and congratulations from New Zealand, Will, and I'm sure your country, Australia, just across the ditches. Outstanding performance across the entire season from you. So a big congratulations. My question to you, because it's been in the media here a lot recently, just about Formula One things, but IndyCar can hold its head very high when it has a champion like you and you're consistent across all the disciplines of circuits that you go to. It's not about being good at ovals or road courses. You have to be consistent across the lot, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you cannot be leaving anything on the table, and that's what makes this series so tough and unique, is that you've got all these disciplines, and even the difference between a road course and a street course is quite significant in our series, because the street courses are extremely rough and bumpy and tight. There's not a series like it. I'm going to say it's the toughest series in the world because of what you got to master to win it, and the competition level. You don't even have to take my word for it. Just do the math on lap times, and you'll see that we're the most competitive series in the world.
When you look at it today, and just using Dixon as the example, and someone who qualifies midfield, and you're just further up the road, again, it's that same thing. The series is so equal. People look at it and go, he's midfield, but it's thousandths of seconds separating you guys in qualifying.
It is. It's where we were at Portland, I was like 7/10 covered 20 cars. 7/10 covering 20 cars. Like, you're never going to see that in something like Formula One. Never. It's the ultimate drivers series. It's the ultimate drivers series.
Well, I fully agree on you, and I was just interested to hear that from you as well, because I've been a firm believer of the fact that IndyCar is without a doubt probably the leading open wheel category in the world, and you're a fitting champion, two-time title champion now, so congratulations from everyone down here, everyone that follows my show, and to everything that you've done for the media this year and turning up to these press conferences, because I can say honestly, we really appreciate it. So thank you very much, Will.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
We've got time for one or two more. Daniel Herrero, Speed Cafe. Go ahead, unmute yourself. You have a question for Will Power.
I do. Thanks very much. Congratulations, Will. You mentioned a couple of times through the year the mental approach changing, something that you learnt in the off season or figured out in the off season. You said you might tell us at the end of the season if you won the series. You able to share that with us now? What the secret was?
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna. I'll only say it after when I retire. But yeah, definitely. I'm older, more experienced. Just know the game so well, and know the correct mental approach to get the most out of myself, and know when to go, when not to go, and it's just all those little details that you can only get by experience. So yeah, it's a solid year all around as a group. Not just me. I mean, the team has done a great job. The group that I've had on my car, the pit stops, the strategies, everything. Total team effort, and yeah, and that's the only way you'll win in this series is it's a absolute group effort.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. Let's go, Rodrigo. You're next, and then back in person with Chris in the middle of the room. Go ahead,
Thank
Rodrigo.
you so much. Thank you so much, Dave. First of all, congratulations, Will, on this new championship to you. How much excited do you feel, having in mind the strength you showed us on the last rounds, knowing that you have a lot of pace in quali and race for the next season?
Yeah, I mean, very encouraging for next year. I've learned a lot this year as well. I never stop learning, and having two really good teammates helps. And yeah, it's just look forward some time off, to be honest. I haven't seen my parents in 3 years. I want to get back over to Australia and relax, and then I'll start thinking about what happens next year.
And to finish it, which do you think it was like the most satisfying moment of the whole season, not including this one?
The most
satisfying moment.
Yeah, the most satisfying race was definitely Detroit. I wanted to win that one, and this winning the championship, extremely satisfying. Well, you think about this weekend, winning the championship and surpassing Mario Andretti in poles. I mean, very satisfying, very satisfying.
Thank you so much, Will, and congratulations from Peru.
Thank you.
Off the top of a weekend like that, couple of marks, right? Pretty good. Chris DeHardy, if there's anyone else that has a follow-up, let me know. Chris, go ahead, though.
Will, going on that satisfying thing, we spoke at Nashville after the race, and you said, I can't wait to fight Scott Dixon for a championship. Yeah. How much more satisfying is this championship knowing that you fought Scott through the rest of the way? He was tied for second in points, and now the title's yours.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard fight to the end. You're fighting Dixon and Newgarden, like the two of the best guys in the series. It's very satisfying, very satisfying. And that matters. You don't want to, it's not fun. It's fun at the time when you win with ease, but it's way better when it's a difficult fight to the end, which it was, and adds to the satisfaction.
Anyone else for the champion, Jenna?
Will, did you ever think it was you against everyone else at Penske this year?
Me against everyone else? What, the two boys? Yeah, I mean, they I guess they're younger and similar in age and enjoying having fun. But no, I mean, it's look, I find McLaughlin, a great guy, easy to get along with, and Joseph is as well. They're good guys, fiercely competitive, and I expect Scott to be a legit championship contender next year. And yeah, I've said it a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to say this is the strongest combination that Penske's ever had, as far as driver, speed, ability. Tough group, tough trio.
We'll go, Bruce, wrap it up.
Also, what about winning it with Ron Rzuski? How much of a calming influence is he? Because for the longest time you were paired with Tim Cindric, but to be able to get Ron as the guy that works with you, how important was that? And how special is it to give him this championship?
It's great. Yeah, Ron has been fantastic. Very calm on the radio, never ever loses his cool, puts things in perspective. And him and Dave, just a great group, the whole group. But and Dave in particular, man, I just feel I really wanted to win it for him and Robbie Atkinson, two guys that have been with me from but Dave's been with me the whole time, but Robbie since 2010, and they deserved another championship. They did. These guys are extremely good at their jobs, and I didn't want to ruin it for them.
David, all right, one more.
I wanted to ask, when you decided to go to this playing the long game thing, were they fully behind you doing that, or were there days when Dave or Robbie or Ron were like, ah, shit, we could have won that race?
Look, I mean, you're never disappointed. If you're looking from a championship perspective, every time you get a podium, like, that's not the day you're looking back on. You're looking back on the day where you finished 19th, like at Road America. They're the days that lose championships. Top threes don't. We got a lot of them this year. So anytime we got a top four, I was pretty happy. I was, but in the past, I would have been really pissed off. When your teammates are winning, that was a big change. It's like, I don't care. I'm going to weather their storm while they're having a good run, and just that in itself was a mental change. It's like, I'm not getting pissed off with the top four, where before I would have been just like after the race, seething.
All right.
Seething. It's a good word.
Seething, yeah. I didn't see that word coming up.
Seething. I didn't finish.
That wasn't on the bingo card that I had.
In the top four, I didn't win. I'm seething with anger. Yeah, no, you would have been disappointed, but yeah.
That's awesome. Win 9 podiums, 5 NTT P1 awards, and the 2022 NTT IndyCar Series Championship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Will Power, driving the Verizon Team Penske Chevrolet.